Section 2, question set 11, rhetorical synthesis. Difficult questions. In this set, we are not going to read every full question and answer choice aloud. Instead, we will focus on the task, the key wording, the eliminations, and the correct answer. This is the part that matters most for understanding how to solve these rhetorical synthesis questions. Question 1, diet and cancer prevention. The goal is to emphasize the different study types used to connect diet and cancer. The key phrase is different studies. So the correct answer needs to do more than make a general claim about diet and cancer. It needs to name multiple study types and explain that these studies help establish the relationship between diet, cancer causation, and cancer prevention. Choice C is too vague. It only says that studies investigated the relationship between diet and cancer, but it does not name any specific types of studies. Since the goal is to emphasize the different studies used, choice C does not do enough. Choice B names the study types, but it frames them incorrectly. It says research needs to move past epidemiological, preclinical, clinical, and metabolic studies. That shifts the focus toward the limitations of those studies, not toward how those studies help establish the diet-cancer relationship. Choice D also names the study types, but it overstates the notes. It says the studies develop effective cancer prevention strategies. The notes do not go that far. In fact, the notes say the current data is still limited compared to what it could become with new scientific and technological advances. Choice A is correct because it names the relevant types of research, including epidemiology, preclinical and clinical trials, and metabolic studies. It also accurately says that these studies support the claim that diet affects both cancer causation and prevention. The answer is choice A. Pause. Question 2. Scuba diving. The goal is to emphasize the relative dive time of two breathing systems, open circuit systems and closed circuit rebreathers. The key phrase is dive time. The question is not mainly asking about gas consumption. It is asking which answer best compares how long each system lets a diver remain underwater. Choice A focuses only on gas consumption. It talks about liters of gas per minute, but it never gives the actual dive durations. That misses the goal. Choice D is closer because it mentions that closed circuit rebreathers can allow dives of several hours. But the open circuit system is still described only in terms of gas consumption. The comparison is incomplete because it does not give the open circuit dive time. Choice C gives both dive times, several hours for closed circuit rebreathers and 40 to 60 minutes for open circuit systems. However, it is too bare. It just lists the two time ranges without explaining the reason for the difference. Choice B is correct because it gives the mechanism and the comparison. Closed circuit rebreathers recycle exhaled breath, which allows dives of multiple hours. Open circuit systems, by contrast, are limited to about 40 to 60 minutes. The answer is choice B. Pause. Question 3. Flight formation. The goal is to present the study and its methodology. That means the correct answer must include two things. First, it must identify the study or researcher. Second, it must explain how the study was conducted. Choice A gives a finding about ibises using less energy in V formation, but it does not name the researcher or explain the method. It gives the result, not the study design. Choice C names Stephen Portugal and gives a finding about wingtip vortices and reduced drag, but it leaves out the method. It does not mention the tracking devices used to study the birds. Choice D also names Portugal and mentions the 14% energy savings, but it still does not explain how the research was conducted. Choice B is correct because it includes both required parts. It names Stephen Portugal, explains that he wanted to understand how ibises save energy in V formation, and identifies the method. He used tracking devices to study their flight. The answer is choice B. Pause. Question 4. Emmeline Pankhurst and the WSPU. The goal is to emphasize the unlawful acts of the Women's Social and Political Union. The key phrase is unlawful acts. So the correct answer should foreground specific illegal or militant actions, not just general activism or the overall suffrage movement. Choice B focuses too much on one event, the attempted storming of the House of Commons. It also emphasizes that the attempt was unsuccessful, which is not the goal. The question wants unlawful acts, not the outcome of one protest. Choice A says Pankhurst incited members to unlawful protest, but the notes do not support the word incited. The notes say the WSPU escalated its tactics. That is different. Choice A is also too vague because it does not name specific unlawful acts. Choice D includes some relevant actions, but it adds an unsupported claim that those actions led to the arrest of many WSPU members. The notes mention imprisonment, but they do not specifically connect the listed actions to arrests in the way this answer does. Choice C is correct because it directly emphasizes militant and unlawful behavior. It names breaking laws, property damage, and the storming of the House of Commons. Those details are grounded in the notes and match the goal of emphasizing unlawful acts. The answer is choice C. Pause. Final recap. For rhetorical synthesis questions, always start with the student's goal. The goal tells you what the correct answer must emphasize. If the goal asks for different study types, the answer should name specific kinds of studies. If the goal asks for relative dive time, the answer should compare actual durations, not just gas usage. If the goal asks for methodology, the answer must explain how the study was conducted. If the goal asks for unlawful acts, the answer should name specific illegal or militant actions without adding unsupported claims. The correct answers are Question 1, Choice A. Question 2, Choice B. Question 3, Choice B. Question 4, Choice C.